Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. Well, welcome back, guys. Happy late St. Patty's Day. Did everybody enjoy their green beer?
I didn't have any of that. I don't even think I drank.
You'd be proud of me. I had Guinness
All right.
out of a plastic cup.
Plastic cup Guinness. Nice. I
Gotta
like
do
it.
If you got to do it, you got to do it. I mean, you've seen me drink Guinness out of plenty of plastic cups at tailgates. So.
Oh, for sure.
Was this a choice to have it out of a plastic cup? Or you just
was
put it in
Limerick
front of
Junction.
you?
Limerick Junction was putting them out in plastic cups, so you drink it how they give it to you, right?
They knew their audience. They knew glasses would be broken if they did that.
Yeah.
There's like a few people that probably got the glasses at the very front end of like the event or whatever, and then they switched over. Like, nope, no more glasses.
It was pretty dead. I think with St. Patrick's Day being on a Monday, people kind of go hard on Friday, Saturday, and even like some day drinking on Sunday. And by the time Monday rolls around, they're like, I don't really have it in me. That's when the true alcoholics and the true degenerates come out. So yeah, I was out there.
Nice. That's awesome.
All right.
Needless to say, I was there.
You were just monitoring.
You know where you could find me.
Yeah, you're monitoring. That's all.
So big news since we last talked, exactly what we said was going to happen. As soon as we released our episode, it was somewhat announced that Coach Hayes is back for another year at least.
Is it official?
But I don't think there was an extension announced, just that he would be here for at least another year, right?
There's a lot of rumors on that. There are some people that said there was a 1-year extension. Others saying he's working on that last year of his contract. I tend to believe there probably was a 1-year extension. That's just my gut feeling. But probably like there's no new money. Probably the buyout probably doesn't change at all. It's probably like let's just put that extra year on there to for recruits to know that there's still a chance you'll be coming back at the end of the year.
I think it's weird they wouldn't announce that, if they did that.
But they announced. And you said that. I don't think they necessarily always announce extensions.
Unless it's exciting, like the coach is doing well, we're extending him.
Right.
Do you mean they as in like normal operating procedure for an NCAA team, or they as in Georgia State doesn't always do it?
NCAA teams, athletic programs in general. I don't think that they always announce something if they're. I don't know if they think there's an advantage or disadvantage or whatever, but I just don't think they always announce that. Now, if a coach has been doing really well and they're like, this is doing great, we just signed it, we extended it by 5 years. They're going for the fanfare around the whole thing.
Right.
I think that, but then they wouldn't also be like announcing that they're not extending the contract necessarily all the time.
I mean, yeah, maybe when there's shame involved, they don't announce it.
Can we ask athletics? Will they tell people?
We can ask anything. Yeah, I don't know how much they'll tell us, but it was kind of funny because Ryan, to your point, it kind of broke coming through the NIL, right?
Yeah, like not even the athletic department, just like. I mean, I know he's not a rando, but like as far as the program goes, he kind of is because he's not part of the program, and so it would be like us breaking it or something, not based on a press release.
If we broke it, it'd probably be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we could make shit up if we wanted to, but
I mean, it just seemed kind of nonchalant too, just the way it was all worded. Like, oh yeah, well, Coach Hayes, whatever.
Yeah, it was basically something along the lines of, we're excited to work with Coach Hayes for another year to generate, money for our student athletes or something along. I should have saved the tweet, but yeah, it was something that's along those lines. And then Brady over there kind of confirmed it, I guess, by talking to whoever he talks to or something. So, but yeah. You some people say there's a extension. Others kind of like act like there's not been anything. But either way, Hayes is back for the 25-26 year. We know that much.
Yay!
I'm actually
until this releases tomorrow and it's announced that he's been let go.
They found another job.
Yeah, exactly. He got hired by somebody else, another team in the Sun Belt.
I mean, really hanging on to him is a lifeline. So, I mean, if I were him, I would be looking for something else.
Unless he thinks he can do something. I mean, we all kind of called it. We knew that it was going to happen. Especially even just being even if it is just a 1-year deal, that's kind of what we expected to see come out if anything came out. So, have y'all's opinions changed since last week? You feel good, bad, different about it?
No.
I mean, if there wasn't, I hope there wasn't an extension. And I won't believe there was until I have some sort of proof that there was. I
Get
mean,
in your
there's
FOIA.
people do FOIA requests and stuff. So like it'll come out, but it's dumb that we don't know.
I just asked athletics, so we'll see if they reply.
Would you text somebody on the inside?
No, I filled out their little form that said "Ask Athletics," so I filled it out with the question.
Nice.
Okay, now I've got to know if that actually gets even acknowledged. I mean, you may have gotten like a form receipt saying, we got your question, we'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. I would be actually shocked if you got a response at all. So
Probably not.
Yeah. They don't even know where that goes. That just goes to an empty inbox.
Well, honestly, based off our history, it goes to an email account that they've lost the password to, and they don't even know how to check it any longer.
It goes straight to Levick's email.
You're egging it on now, so they will reply. I like it. Keep going. What else? Where else could it go?
I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I know what I'm doing.
No, it goes to what's his face, Mr. Beach Bum. His GSU one though.
Oh yeah, it goes.
He doesn't work there anymore.
I know, but he's their guy. He announces news and stuff. So
it'd be hilarious if you got like a bounce back saying like the email could not be delivered.
Ooh, good.
It would not surprise me.
Good.
Would not surprise me at all.
Maybe it put my email and my phone number, so we'll see.
Maybe you'll get a phone call while we're on the podcast.
That would be awesome.
The only person working past 4:00 on a weekday at Georgia State is Coach A.D. McGee, because we know that Coach Elliott set a precedence of being done at 4. So
yeah.
Anyhow, all right. So the Sun Belt tournament came to a close, and as expected, the 1 and 2 seed did not win the championship. Did not play for the championship.
As expected? Was that expected? I thought we thought that everyone who was supposed to win was going to win.
Typically, the 1 and 2 seeds fail to win the regular season champion, or the number 2 tend to fail, which is a weird season because there was 4 teams tied for first place, and who was it? South Alabama got the nod to be the 1 seed in the tournament.
Right,
but that's not how the regular season standings go. It's a 4-way tie for the champion. There will be 4 different banners in 4 different arenas claiming a portion of the 24-25 Sun Belt season.
There's no tiebreakers?
There is to seed them, right? But
there's tiebreakers and which way to seed them in the Sun Belt tournament, but they all get to claim a piece of the regular season championship. So when it came to, because the regular season champ gets an NIT bid if they don't win the whole thing. So that went to South Alabama.
It was weird. The like social media accounts of the 4 teams.
Sorry, who did it go to?
Who?
Arkansas State. Arkansas State, right?
Yeah, it's Arkansas State. It was weird seeing the social media postings because some of the schools said co-champions, some just said champions. I think you don't give 4 teams champion status. It seems weird.
No, it's very, very weird. And I think the fact that more times than not, the 1 and 2 seeds are not winning the tournament means you've got a broken format for your championship. If the goal is to get your best team, and you consider your best team the one who performed the best that season, then you're not. Although that being said, since they did technically get a regular season champion into the,
it's working.
They got 1/4 of the Sun Belt champion into the NCAA tournament. Yeah,
I was talking to a coworker about it yesterday, and they're like, "Wait, what bracket do you guys have? Why? Wait, you guys got a double bye?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're that good." That's right. And he's like, "I bet you." He's like, he didn't know who came out of Sun Belt. He's like, "I bet you the 1 or 2 seed didn't make it out. I bet you it was too hard for him to like be off 5 days in a row or 7 or whatever it is." I'm like, "Yeah, well, you'd be right."
I think Old Dominion was the only team to actually advance along.
Yeah.
Until we got to the championship or the semifinal games, where both the lower seeds won. Hopefully they fix something with that, but that's just so weird.
Yeah, almost 30% of the Sun Belt are champions of the Sun Belt.
You did the math. I love it.
It's like 28%, but I rounded up.
Well, yeah, 4 divided by 14, right? 2 divided by 7, 2/7,
Yeah.
2/7 of the conference are champions.
It's stupid, is what it is. It's dumb. The
What if
Sun
you
Belt.
do?
Sun Belt is just a silly conference.
Well, you do 3/14.
It's the Fun Belt.
The 3/14 of the, or is it 3/7 of the West Division are champions of the Sun Belt.
That's Jesus Christ! Almost half the West is champion.
Now we're mixing football and basketball. Oh, that's too much.
Well, it's weird. They claim that there's no divisions between basketball, yet we play every team in our football division twice,
right?
And the teams in our the West Division once, minus one team. And why do we not play that one team? How does that? I think I complained about this last week or 2 weeks ago. Like, it's one additional game. Who cares? Just play. It'll be odds. Like there'll be an odd number of home and away games, but just flip flop each. Like, the one season the East gets the extra home game, one season the West gets the extra home game. It's stupid. Why are we actually not playing one additional conference game? There's 14 teams in the conference. We can only play 12 of them.
In Sunbelt scheduling, that is a confirmed answer. They can't.
I mean, Fun Belt. Remember, we just said it.
It's Fun Belt. That's what our bracket is. It's the Fun Belt. Yeah.
No, no. Like we said last week, our bracket is the Flying V. Yeah. So
who's Troy playing?
Troy is playing Kentucky, I believe.
Easy. We'll get that. No problem.
Yeah. On the Sun Belt, I didn't go. I forgot to look it up, but they actually listed Kentucky as an 18 seed, but I don't think that's right. Maybe 18th in the rankings, like in the top 25, they're number 18 overall. That makes more sense.
I mean, and speaking of Fun Belt, who's South Alabama playing in the NIT?
Themselves.
Well, South Alabama got a little screwed in the NIT. So I guess Arkansas State actually got the NIT spot for being regular champion because they made it to the championship game. I don't know how that worked exactly, because you would think South Alabama would get it. However, Ryan, as we talked about in the group chat, South Alabama got invited to the NIT and then got a just kidding call like 5 hours later. Our bad. There's actually not a spot for you. The team that we offered the spot to turned it down to go to CBI or CIT or one of those other tournaments. And then, so they call Arkansas, South Alabama, tells the team, we're in, and our bad. We shouldn't have offered that to you. That the other team decided to change their mind. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you let them change their mind?
Yeah, I mean, what really sucks is, I think you call him and you say, "Hey, you're on deck," and then when he says, which he did, "Can I tell my players?" You say, "No, not yet. It's not firmed up." And instead, they were like, "Yeah, you're in." And so they went and told their players, and if they're not in,
if I'm not mistaken, if the internet's to be believed, that the commissioner of the Sun Belt, Keith Gill, our buddy Ryan, he is actually on the selection committee for the NIT. So he would have had to say something about getting South Alabama in, then out. I don't know how a team turns you down. They call back, you offer the spot to somebody else, and they call back and say, "Our bad. We want to do it now," and you actually allow them.
Yeah, and what
that
is
makes
it,
no sense.
UC Berkeley or something? It's like, are you so excited about them that
Santa Clara or something? Who was it?
Yeah, I said somebody way more famous.
I mean, it's like the NIT
UC Riverside.
Ooh,
so cool, good, congratulations! You got this great team who no one knows about or cares about.
It's almost like the Sun Belt's trying to figure out if they want to sleep with someone, and then at the end they're like, "Nah, I'm just gonna masturbate. I don't care."
Okay.
Actually,
went there.
It would have been a threesome. It would have been technically have been a threesome, but then someone pulled out, and then the Sun Belt's like
threesomes and pulling out. Man, Tim, you're taking us to last call a little early this week. All right.
The NIT was like, it's just South Alabama. Nah, I'm good. I'll stay by myself.
All right. So the reason why I said Santa Clara was because that's who UC Riverside ended up playing yesterday and lost 101-62. So after they screwed South Alabama out of a spot They go and they lose by nearly 40 points.
That's crazy.
was
Let
an
somebody
important-
score over 100. I mean,
That was an important game for them. Clearly.
Yeah, they were really fired up for that one. I guess, well, because the other thing, the CBI or CIT, whatever the thing they were in, I think it was the CBI. That's a pay for tournament, and I think they were going to host it. And I'm guessing the AD was like, if we have an offer to play in the NIT, I'm not paying $40,000 to host another team.
No.
I guess I don't know.
Give me the free money, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you definitely want to go to the NIT.
That's just, but
they
it's
must
just
have
an
already paid
embarrassment.
for it, and so they declined the NIT because they had already paid, and then they found a way out. It's just what it looks like to me. I don't know, but
and it's not like I'm feeling bad for South Alabama, the players, the coaches, or any of those people at all. I really couldn't give less of a shit about them at all. But the fact that Georgia State's in a conference that allows this to happen to them, to one of their members, is absolute garbage.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Well,
Like,
what stood out to me in the ESPN article was there's a line that says the NIT and Sun Belt Conference called South Alabama's invitation premature in statements released Monday and apologized to the program. Why is the Sun Belt apologizing to South Alabama like on behalf of the NIT or something? Like they didn't do it, right? So like why are you
Keith Gill? We did say Keith Gill was
well, we don't know how
he
voted or whatever he wanted. It was a committee, but it's like the Sun Belt itself as an organization lumped themselves in with the NIT rather than the Sun Belt, or rather than with the Sun Belt team, which is really shitty. I mean, I'm like, what is that? Like, you should be on our side, not their side.
Is it not really that difficult to manage slots for a bracket and just say, hey, we don't even call you yet. We're going to figure this out first and then call you when it...
Once that phone call is hung up, when who do we say, Riverside? Whenever Riverside hung up that phone from saying we're declining the invite to do the CBI, case closed.
Right, they're out.
Done. It's done.
You're
You
out.
guys turned it down.
You can't come back. You can't come back for the play.
No, not out. Especially hours later. I mean, I guess it'd be even worse if it was days later. But the NIT starts immediately. It's how embarrassing. How pathetic that the Sun Belt is for allowing this to take place. Keith Gill should have come out instead and been like, no, South Alabama's going to show up to this game. We're going to dress out and we're going to be ready to play.
Oh, yeah. We're going to pay for it too. The Sun Belt is just going to pay for this.
I am happy.
It's bullshit.
It's going to be 10 versus 5.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy that if this was going to happen to a team in the Sun Belt, it didn't happen to us, because I feel like this is something that would totally happen to Georgia State.
Yeah. And the other members of the Sun Belt would not have our back. They wouldn't be like, this is bullshit. They'd be like, ha, Georgia State, blah, blah, blah.
Like, can't even make the postseason when you get an invitation. Although, what if you were in UC Riverside spot? We kind of talked about it. Would you, maybe they didn't know they were getting an NIT invite, and so they just went ahead and accepted the CBI thing?
Well, you pay into that. So
yeah. I mean, what does the CBI think? Are they if Riverside's
check, they think about it.
if Riverside's check cleared, could USA host a CBI game?
That's what I was thinking. Could USA have done the CBI if they wanted to?
Probably.
I think a lot of smaller. I mean, I remember when we did CBI.
We did something.
There's two of them. I think two
CBI, CIT, and I think we did. We've done one of those, or those caliber twice. Since like the Hunter era.
Well, I think Hunter did it like once and was like, "This is stupid. Why are we paying for this? No one cares." And it's just like, it's just more work for our guys that like doesn't really matter. Like it's just pointless. So it was like, oh, we're gonna spend a bunch of money and for no reason. Why would
I just remember we got gobsmacked by Clemson. That's what I remember.
In the NIT that first round. Yeah, it was embarrassment. Oh man, just absolutely obliterated. Was that the year? That was the year of the championship collapse to Lafayette, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So like the guys were just like, at that point, they're like, they'd already seen the airfare to the NCAA game, and then they get stuck on a bus to Clemson. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we don't care. Let's put the season out of its misery. We're done. We're done here.
Yeah, but like for a team like Clemson, that the budget is a drop in the bucket. So, or I guess we were talking about NIT.
That one was NIT.
Yeah.
They don't go to CBI because why would they do that?
We went and played some weird school in Texas, right, for the CBI CIT thing. I remember that. Like no one knew who they were.
I thought we ended up getting like a Mercer or a West Georgia or something. I thought we got like a close team for something. I do think we did either each of them once or we did one of them twice. I want to say during like Hunter's era, and I think after that he said, "Yeah, we're not going to ever do these things again. These things suck. Why waste the money on this thing?"
I mean, if we were good enough and we got an NIT invite, I'd be all about that. I mean, it's not obviously the NCAA tournament, but it still holds some merit, and there is some excitement there, especially if you can get out of the first rounds and get to Madison Square Garden and compete.
And Coach Hayes is undefeated in NIT, so if we could actually manage a spot there, we're guaranteed just hand us the banner, hand us the trophy immediately. Because there's one thing that Coach Hayes does not lose at NIT games.
So we should have got an invite by that logic.
We should have
been like, you should get in.
No, they were like, no, we can't give them an invite. It's kind of like stacking the deck against everybody else. We don't want everybody playing for second place in this thing. We need to be a real competition. That's why they need UC Riverside so bad.
UC Riverside.
Sun Belt.
Fun Belt.
Bullshit.
The Fun Belt.
Yeah, what else is going on in the Sun Belt?
Let's see. Well, in the conference, Arkansas State hosted St. Louis and beat them. I think they started the game on a 17-2 run and then beat them 103-78. They're going to play the winner of North Texas and Furman on Saturday. Whatever.
Pretty good shot there to keep going. I like that.
Yeah, I think depending on the outcome of that North Texas Furman game, they could either host or travel. I don't know. I don't care that much, but yeah, that's what's going on with them. Troy, like you said, playing Kentucky on Friday. Yeah, that's about it.
It's a tough draw right there. 14 seed, right?
In Milwaukee. Do you think Troy travels to Milwaukee very well? Milwaukee's a fun town.
It is.
I've only been to the airport.
I went to a brewery tasting at Miller Lite and got a sample of Miller Lite.
You're like, nice. Ooh, this tastes different, fresh from the brewery.
Well, no, it was like you go there and they had some different beer that are not really available in Atlanta or regularly in Atlanta.
Right.
But I was like, and they only give you like 3 out of like the 8 or 9 they had there. But I'm like, I've got to just sample Miller Lite because that's the funniest thing I could imagine was sampling Miller Lite in Milwaukee.
So. Was it better? Is it like it was
cold. It was super cold.
Well, it does. I mean, that does make Miller Lite better. So
it does.
I mean, like it was cold. It was like super cold, which I do like a frosty beer, even if it is Miller Lite. Yep. But the stories, like their little tour thing is so different than going to the craft stuff around here because it's such a huge corporation thing. And you're in the middle of this huge warehouse, and they're like, "We will fill this warehouse up today and ship all of it out tomorrow and fill it back up the next day." It just cycles through.
That's crazy.
Whereas you go to Sweetwater back in the day, do for their little businessman special at 4:20 on a Thursday, and there's like people drinking in the back, just putting mislabeling bottles of beer, all messed up and everything.
Ugh, I remember that.
Yeah. So, but now Sweetwater's like partially owned by like InBev or some crap like that, isn't it?
Yeah, they're owned by a macro, so they're just another brewery.
Yeah. Is it full ownership or is it partial ownership?
I feel like it's partial.
I think it's partial.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They're the most overrated, unless they want to become a sponsor, they're the most overrated craft beer in Georgia. But if they want to become a sponsor, that's the best damn beer. And I'll drink that blueberry blue beer all day long.
Are they still considered a craft beer?
Yes, they are, but they're craft. They're a craft brewery, but they're macro craft brewery.
That doesn't make sense. That those two
they're
words
macro.
don't make sense.
It's like they're like a mid-major. They have their own ranking system.
Well, they still make small batches of beer, but
so
they're
does
macro brewery.
So does Anheuser-Busch, but they're not.
Yeah, it's called Sweetwater.
We wouldn't say that.
It's called Sweetwater.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're served on a Delta flights everywhere, you're a macro brewery. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you're not supplying that to. You're not a craft brewery supplying an airline with all their beer.
Yeah, and it's okay to to like grow into no longer a craft beer company.
Sell
That's
out.
cool, man. That's great. If I started a beer company, my goal would be to grow out of craft brewery.
Well, yeah, like
You know,
every tech company, like none of them are like, I want to just do this and I want my company to be around the $25-50 million revenue every year. No, everyone's like, I want to sell out to Google for $500 million.
yeah, that's why you do it. So it's weird. I mean, it's a sounds like marketing. I don't know. That's
I
dumb.
mean, beer nerds will say they're not really true craft anymore, but they consider themselves still craft.
Yeah, that's
It's
that's
a local
marketing.
beer. It's local. We can call it local.
It's
If we don't want to
local,
call
yeah.
it craft, let's call it local. A local brewery.
And
But
if
then
we
again,
were in Milwaukee, then Miller Lite would be a local beer too.
well, they actually brew Bud Light in, was it Dalton or up there?
I think there is
Cartersville or something like that. They
Yeah.
have a Budweiser, so Budweiser's a local beer.
I always wondered if you could go like get samples there, or is it just like a closed facility?
I think it's a closed facility, but I heard if you work there, like every Friday, they let everybody take a case of home of whatever they wanted, just like a weekly perk.
Steal.
Good job for alcoholics.
I wonder how many people actually crack one open before they even leave the parking lot.
I bet there are strict rules against that.
Probably.
How many crack one open as they leave the property of the Budweiser facility?
Yeah, my company though, we keep alcohol in our fridge and people do partake.
We used to keep alcohol in our fridge until we were told that we couldn't do that. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's legitimate liability concerns, but
that's what it was. Well, that also like the little stuck-up people in operations didn't like the fact that their bosses didn't let them do it, and our bosses were drinking with us. So,
yeah,
nice.
All right. Yeah. What else we got? Baseball's doing the best ever.
Yes,
best
they
season.
Keep winning mostly.
Yeah, 15-7. The big ones are 3-0 in conference. They swept. I think it was USA, right? South Alabama, and then lost a one game with West Georgia, 12-11. And they had bases loaded in the ninth and couldn't win the game.
That's a bad loss right there, right? West Georgia.
That sucks. Yeah. We got Old Dominion this weekend at Old Dominion this weekend. So we'll see.
But our losses are like what? Georgia twice, Georgia Tech once, South Carolina. That's 4 of the 7.
Something like that. Yeah, we had like one. Like we lost like one of the Belmont games or some crap like that. We won the series but lost the game.
I mean, good for the Bus Stop boys. They're doing well.
I think it's the best under Stromdahl, and I think it may be the best since returning to the Sun Belt as well. So kudos to those guys. Let's hey, you know what? I think as a reward, we should break ground on a new baseball facility for them for next year.
When does that happen? Yeah, wait. Today is the last day of winter, so it's gonna be in the spring, right, Ryan?
I think they stopped giving seasons because there's probably some group of assholes talking on the internet about what they're going to do to start cracking open the ground themselves if they don't make a deadline.
In 2025, they will have the groundbreaking for a new.
I think what Strom said was it's still on track for the 2026 season, and the hope is they have time to practice on it before the first game. So it sounds like it may be like open. It may be done like days. Like
hours, minutes
before the first game starts. I wonder if they're going to do who was it? There was another team that they were going. Their team was going on getting a new stadium. Or renovations were done, and so they opened up it's kind of like United open up the first 6 weeks on the road or something. Are we going to get our baseball season and we won't actually play the first game on there until we're like 15 games into the season?
I hope they many ideas. Right in time. Yeah, stop. What are you doing, man? I'm hopeful we open it with a nice Kennesaw, Georgia Tech, one of those two.
I would like to see an exhibition game first. I think I mentioned it last week. We could do like a Braves Hall of Fame, bring in some like old 15, 60-year-old guys out there for just a fan involvement, a cutting of the ribbon and honoring to Hank Aaron, something like that. Or if you can't get Braves people, bring back some baseball alums to do it, or maybe do a celebrity type thing. See if we can get some local Atlanta celebrities to do like a rock and jock type of thing. And then the following week or days have that first game against a Kennesaw or a Tech or a Georgia, something like that. but not trash down south.
Mercer. Just kidding, not Mercer.
Yeah, I think Mercer. Not that Kennesaw is like that big of a draw, but I think it would still bring in Kennesaw, Georgia Tech would be our biggest draws to open up that place. I think
easily
for a real game.
Yeah, and everyone loves an event. We know that about Georgia State.
Everyone loves an event. Our luck would be like crap ass cold.
Freezing outside. There's like snow on the ground. We're trying to open our baseball field.
I have to go get the bright fluorescent yellow balls so you can like see it when it lands in the icy dust piles.
Yeah.
I am. Do neither of you really remember what when I said that they would break ground?
No.
I don't remember. But I think it was sometime soon.
I thought there was no date given. I thought the most recent information was no specific date was given. Because before it was going to be like last fall, then it was going to be within the year, and then it was going to be this winter or whatever. And I think they just stopped giving dates or time frames.
I'll try to look at what I maybe put into the group me.
That's probably it.
That's going to be a long search.
Yeah, I know. There's no search on it.
There is a search, and it's horrible.
Speaking of events, are either you going to go to the Atlanta United Georgia State night and get a scarf?
Did I even know about this?
Probably not. I think it just came out today. It's April 12th, Saturday, 2:30 p.m. against New England Revolution.
That's the day after the spring game, right?
Yeah. At least it's not on the day of the spring game, because that is some shit that would happen.
I mean, honestly, that'd be kind of cool. Do spring game and then just roll right into a United game.
Well, if it was on Saturday during the day and then the Atlanta United was at night, that would be cool.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm probably going to be out for the United game simply because the wife will be out of town and I'll have all the kids with me. And I'm not taking all of them. And I'm not paying for a babysitter. If somebody wants to volunteer to babysit my kids that night, I will gladly go to the game.
There you go.
And I promise to come back late and drunk.
Just in time for dinner with them.
I see co-branded scarf, but I want a picture. I want to see it.
Oh, you want to see it?
I want to see the co-branded scarf. I think it'd be cool. Yeah. That's fine.
I don't know if I can post pictures. Can I?
I don't know how.
It's all. I mean, all good. We don't need to figure that out.
It looks cool. Yeah. It looks like a nice scarf. $36, and that's a little expensive, but United tickets aren't cheap anyway.
No, I think $36 for a United game, and you get a freebie thing. I think that's fine. That's cool. Good. I mean, I'm glad to see them doing it. How many times do we see like the Braves skip over Georgia State or Hawks or whatever? And I guess we have our Hawks hat and a couple of Braves things, but we've definitely gotten skipped over by other teams in the past.
We have.
So.
I'm jonesing for a new Braves hat. Is what I'm jonesing for.
Co-branded hat. Last year, what was it? It was the mug, right?
Yeah, didn't they do like a seat cushion or something in the year? Like,
it was a seat cushion. Oh, stupid seat cushions.
I don't know. I was there, but not allowed to get the co-branded thing. I think I was there for the mug, though. I think it was a mug. But they were like you had to buy the special ticket. You couldn't just show up and
the ticket had even when you buy the ticket, it shows up as a separate line item, like an extra $5 just for that thing, and then whatever it is.
Like my ticket was a lot better than that. You got more money from me, so just give me the damn thing. And they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So this actually came out last week. I think it came out along with the schedule whenever that came out a couple weeks ago. And I think, Tim, you and I said we were going to talk about it. But we haven't talked about it yet. The changes to the PAC benefits.
That's true. We do have different PAC benefits.
Right. And I guess the big thing was really the breaking the hospitality out from right now. If you got hospitality access to either football or basketball, it was for every home game. And now they're breaking up to just out of conference or everything. So I think what is it? Football is if you donate $500, you get out of conference, which is 2 games. That means it's
right.
Two games out of the season. You get to go in there and get your 2 drink tickets and whatever Panther Dining put out that week. And then with basketball, it's 1,000 for the out of conference, which is still a couple more games.
Yeah.
But 2,500, which I think is what it is right now. So that's actually kind of an upgrade, right? If you're donating 1,000, you're getting into those out of conference games that you
It
would not have
is.
gotten into before. So that's actually, I guess, one time where it's actually kind of something's being offered to a lower level than it was before, right?
I think so. And I think they're just trying to entice people to donate more money, which is great. I think the one change they did make for football that's a plus is that hospitality is not 2 passes or something like that. What like it was this past year. Like it's 1-to-1. If you have 4
For every
tickets,
ticket you have, right?
yeah, which is a nice change because it was kind of a stupid rule in my opinion what they had last year. Because I only
Yeah,
got
everything.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be for sure. It should be for every ticket you have, and I would actually even go as far to say it should be every ticket you have, whether or not you have somebody there for that ticket or not. Because if I go there and if I have 4 tickets, I want 8 drink
8
tickets.
years.
Yeah,
But that's a
they're
good
not. They're
change.
not.
I like that they did that. I thought it was a super positive move.
It's a weird to me for the football one that for those 2 games, and then also with basketball, does that mean that the hospitality suite's going to be like slam packed for the first month or two, first month and a half of the season, and then be empty?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah. Well, the thing that I noticed about the changes to the PAC membership, and I don't know how much this is actually a change or it's what I saw, is because they broke it up this time, like your dollar values for the being a member of the Panther Athletic Club, like what you get, and then what you get for football and what you get for basketball. And whenever these things came up, I always look at like where I'm donating and how much the next level is and what perks I get to go to that next level. And it's always been the
it's a big
next perk.
gap.
The next perk or two up is not enough for me to justify the extra $500 or $1,000 or whatever it may be. But here's what's weird with
Okay.
football. There is no bump in perk from the 1,000 level to the 2,500 to the 5,000. You don't get anything else until you're 10,000 above. So if you're $1,000 giver in football and that's your sport of choice, you like football, there's zero incentive to change to the 2,500 or the 5,000 group. There's from PAC benefits alone.
And
There's not.
what's funny about that is what was explained to me about development and how to raise money and how what our fans are doing was that our fans specifically are trying to they're purchasing those benefits, right? We're
Right.
is how they view it, right? We want those benefits, like a lot of people are like you, David, is what they've identified. And I have some problems with that because I think benefits can be I'm helping the program. If you tell me how I'm helping the program, that's a benefit to me
Right.
because I want to help the program. But that's neither here nor there. The fact that they see it as more of a transaction and still aren't offering like the incremental things, I'm like, what are you doing? This is what you believe. You believe you can get somebody from $1,000 to $2,000 by offering them something. Why aren't you?
Right. And then moving on to exactly, you're right. You're right. I agree with you 100%.
Mhm.
Then moving on to basketball,
Say that one more
once
time.
what once you're in the $2,500 donation level for basketball,
Stop. You're
there is not
done.
a single perk you get for basketball
Yeah.
going above that. Even if you go to 10,000 plus, if you want at basketball, which obviously we're on a downward trend in basketball, but over the past 10, 15 years, basketball has been our best sport. And somebody wants to pay $10,000, they're getting exactly what you're saying, Ryan. They're getting the benefit of helping the program. They're not getting
Right.
anything else.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, so my point around the benefit of helping the program is sell that. Say that that's what you're
Yeah.
doing. When you up your donation from $1,000 to $2,000, you're giving one student X percent of their scholarship, or
Yeah.
something like help me justify it in my brain that it's not just going to some empty nebulous blob of
Slush
money.
fund for this
Yeah.
or that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the jump from 1,000 to 2,500 is quite a bit, and you don't get much of anything.
Yeah, even in just the regular Panther Athletic Club section of benefits, there's nothing between 1,000 and 2,500. You don't get anything extra. At 1,000, you get the invitation to the President Society. Same thing for 2,500, and then invitation to special athletic events starts at 5,000. All right, what if they don't have them? What if they don't have a special event? You just don't get that?
We don't even know what those are.
Because we definitely saw stuff like that. There were benefits in the past that we were offered that we never got.
That's true.
You know?
Ouch.
So
there's the parking thing too. I don't think we talked about that previous episode, but
I didn't like that. Did that change? I didn't notice that changing.
It changed because if you had the on the bricks tailgating, what do they call it? I don't know what they call it.
Oh, were they? I forget what they call it. Brickyard.
Yes. If you had that, they gave you another temporary pass so you could actually tailgate earlier on the bricks or whatever brickyard. And now they said no.
So one of two things have happened. One, they got their logistics together with the parking people, and they said, "Hey, if a person has this pass, let them park here in the green lot or whatever, in addition to the other spot." Or two, they just don't care.
2 or 3, apparently there's less parking available. And they said, obviously, the baseball stadium or park being built.
I guess it should be under construction, right? You're right. It should be under construction by then.
And so they're super concerned about that. I'm like, well, that's great. We were just using our passes temporarily. You all should figure that out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for the 50 max people that
just close down Georgia Avenue all day. Just close down Georgia Avenue, at 6 a.m. that day.
That is what they said they're going to try, but we saw how well Georgia State.
Well, there's a cost to it. You got to pay for the cops for that entire amount of time and everything. But just do it. Just do it.
I'm hoping they let us park in the parking lot. Shouldn't be a parking lot temporarily.
Or no, they'll give you the box parking deck passes. You have to walk your ass all the way down.
Hell no, dude. I would just leave my car there.
Just start. Well, we can start tailgating in the box like we said we wanted to do in the first place.
Hey, at some point that might be it in the future.
It's a great view. That'd be a great view for if we ever get college game day here. Pipe dream. You can tell I've been drinking now. We ever get college game day to cover a Georgia State game, doing the actual event on the top of the box parking deck with that overlooking the stadium right there would be pretty bad. Or they'd probably turn it around and have it look at the downtown Atlanta area. But either way, be pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, I did find the baseball thing that I knew. Spring of 25.
Well,
which spring is March 20th to June 20th.
What century?
So
which century?
Yeah. So I think we are in the quarter. Tomorrow begins the quarter that we may or may not see groundbreaking.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, I guarantee you that if it does happen in spring, it will not be day one of spring.
No. But it could happen tomorrow. Who knows, right? We don't know because there's no date.
It's nice weather. Be gorgeous weather. Great weather to break. Do you think they'll do a breaking ground ceremony?
No.
No.
Maybe because I said no, they will though.
That could be the top donor's special event.
Oh, a special event. You get invited to something that's outdoor that really can't stop anybody from showing up to anyways. Fantastic.
I think it could be, but it probably won't.
They should definitely do something to have just a simple ribbon cutting ceremony, breaking ground. Get Charlie to take that pickaxe to the asphalt.
Yep.
He might get something in his eye though.
Oof.
Oh, Charlie. Charlie. Take me to Magic Mountain, Charlie.
What?
You guys watch that?
Where
remember that? Remember that, Tim? Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's some good shit right there.
We definitely need to redo that video with Cobb's head right on there. All right. Let's see. That's pretty much all we got. There's one funny thing we can talk about. I sent this tweet out into the private group chat, and it's just too funny to save for last call or whatever, but it was that Marshall bizarre stat. The leading returning rusher for Marshall after the departure of their head coach, Coach Huff, is kicker Reese Verhoff, who has a 9-yard fake field goal conversion. There are nobody else on the roster with returning rushing yards. Their leading rusher from last year is their kicker.
Wait, what?
That's some Bo Schlechter shit.
Right?
Everyone left?
Marshall, remember they lost like their entire they couldn't do
I
their bowl
know.
game.
Couldn't even postseason, yeah.
That's true. That they made the Sun
year,
Belt look bad, right?
like so if it was not for that one play, then if anybody said anything about it, it'd be like, yeah, and they're returning nobody from their running back core. But no,
Fresh roster.
they had that one play. So like our leading returner coming back is the kicker on a fake field, which obviously was successful.
Wild.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Go Herd.
Well, you don't have to go that far.
The blundering Herd. So
Thundering turd.
All right, that's all I got.
Feels like
That's
enough.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked. We're hitting that right there, that 1 hour mark or 50-minute mark. All right,
Wait,
Tim,
one more
you wanna-
thing. One more thing.
One more
The
thing, Steve Jobs.
The Sandy Panthers moved up 2 slots, I think, if I read that right.
Yeah,
Maybe?
correct. We went from
There
20th
we
to
go.
18th, and that is after losing like 4 of our last 6 games or something.
Yikes.
We're getting
We
rewarded
lost.
for losing, or people lost worse. than
Yeah,
we did.
more people lost
Well,
more
so-
impressively than we did.
we lost to an unranked UAB. We lost to number 13 FAU, lost to number 3 TCU,
Those
got
are quality
shut out.
losses.
Got shut out by number 4 Southern Cal, but then we beat number 15 Stetson and we beat Florida Gulf Coast 3-2. So they're definitely putting some weight on. It's a quality program. Just we have a strong or a lack of ability to punch above. So
It's always good, I think.
That's sort of been where we're at. It feels like they get these rankings pretty good. Like they're pretty good at it.
I think they're just waiting for us to fund the program, and then we're going to take off. That's what.
man, could you imagine if our beach volleyball program had the same kind of like resources that the power
Football.
programs have? They're
Just
40,
football
they're $70 million TV contracts, and all you gotta do is like a little slice of that. If you're able to throw $1 million, just once, if you're able to throw 1/70th of your TV budget at beach volleyball and get another $1 million to the program, how much that would help that thing out? It'd be awesome. Also, I was thinking about this earlier. We have the bus lot boys with baseball. Can we have like the sandlot gals with beach?
I like it.
Yikes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Violence.
Violence.
Silence. I was
Takes
I did violence.
takes Sandy Panthers to a different level.
The sandlot gals. I don't know if it's a sand. I don't know if the lot really works in there, but I was thinking about it. I get a lot of TikTok videos having to do with the Sandlot movie.
It's because you said the word. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the curly headed guy.
Yeah.
Ginger-
he's
gin-
been famous on
Yeah.
TikTok because he looks.
He's been pretty.
exactly the
He
same.
pops up on my stuff all of the time.
He hasn't changed at all.
He just looks like a grown up version of the child that he was. Yeah.
I don't even know if he looks like a grown up version. I think he just looks like
he's a taller version of the kid that he was. Oh man, this is definitely heading into last calls. I saw the parent of one of the kids at my kid's daycare, my 3-year-old's daycare. I saw his friend's parent, the girl's parent, and that kid's mother looks like a grown up version of like the same thing that Ryan's saying, not like an adult version of this kid. Looks like if you just took this 2-year-old and stretched him out to be like 5'2", that's what this kid looks like. It's the weirdest thing. It looks like a grown baby. It's weird. She, the mother, she looks like a grown baby, which makes me really weird. Makes me think like, what did that father think about while making that baby? Like, hey, look at this baby. She's so hot. Tim, you started the conversation out talking about masturbation. All right.
I know, but that was a different level.
All right, then take us out of here. Let's go.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. We're going to take a quick break here, refill our beverages, maybe use the restroom, maybe talk about ugly babies. We'll see. If you liked what you heard or you didn't, doesn't matter.
You thought it was a hot baby.
Join our Patreon at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. Live streaming access, discounts on merch, group chat action, breaking news all the time. We will maybe remember when the groundbreaking for a new baseball park is happening. And adult beverages at tailgates. $5, you can become a fan of the show and support our mission. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.